Hello everyone, Watch Its Review here with a look at Darth Sidious from the Star Wars Vintage Collection. Now, although I usually have a problem with putting prequel trilogy and prequel trilogy characters into a supposed vintage collection, I will make an exception in this case, mostly because this rendition basically is Emperor Palpatine. You know, same character, just basically different name. Probably got a little bit older, but you'd never guess it from the face, so, it's pretty cool. Now, the other really odd thing is, besides the fact that, he's technically coming to us from the prequel trilogy, if you look at the back of the box right here, this seems to be the first time that the figure was even really released, so not only is it not vintage in the sense that it's coming from a newer trilogy, but it's also not vintage in the sense that there's no previous figure of this box is to be believed. So you'll notice the other stuff. So I honestly don't know what's up with that, but I don't really care either. I imagine they probably had to have made a Darth Sidious at some point. But let's open this up and take a closer look. And here we have Darth Sidious out of box. There's just enough difference in terms of costume here that he's really not a perfect stand-in for Emperor Palpatine, who just wore like plain black robes and stuff. But again, I will say that this is probably a decent substitute, just because I can't remember the last time that they made a articulate Emperor Palpatine, and again, it is the same character. Which in some ways also was a problem with having like prequel trilogies, because they introduced Senator Palpatine and it's like, Palpatine, where have I heard that name before? And, there's so many obvious spoilers when you watch a prequel to another movie. Now he comes with two accessories, a lightsaber with its red blade, as well as some Force lightning. Now this is probably one of the few instances where we don't get a unlit lightsaber. I don't know why they didn't bother tossing one in, but whatever, no biggie. The Force lightning attaches to the back of his hand, I think. You know what? I'm gonna figure out where the heck this attaches to. 1 second. Okay, I still have no clue how to actually attach it to his hand or whatever, but I noticed that he can just hold it with his left hand, so I will do that in the meantime. That, of course, is one drawback with having this line, just because you don't have pictures of the figure actually using these accessories, so, kind of is anybody's guess, but really cool detail and patterning on this, a really cool accessory. Happy they included it, especially because it's an essential for this character. And it fell. Let me just quickly toss the lightsaber in his other hand. So yeah, pretty neat. Now there's really not a lot of paintwork on this because it's mostly just cloth elements. You do have a lot of paint in the face here. Well, I'm not sure how much of that's just natural shadowing and stuff, because there's a lot of sculpting there. You'll notice his evil yellow reptilian eyes. Very creepy. Good amount of texturing on the hood. I don't know, really not a lot to say about this figure, just because what you see basically is what you get. So let's have a quick look at articulation here. We have rotation here at the wrist. We have a point over here at the elbow, which looks like it's a ball and socket, but I can't seem to get it up. And what a surprise, a old character not getting it up. Yeah, it's probably a little risque in terms of puns, but there's definitely articulation here for the forward back in addition to rotation, but again, it's just really impeded by the sculpt. Now, the hood actually is a separate piece, which is kind of messed up, so we actually can pull it back a bit. I assume you can probably also just pop his head off and then remove the hood that way, but you can actually get a good look at his maniacal expression here and everything. In addition to seeing his hair, which looks like he's going bald pretty quickly. The coloring's really weird because it looks kind of like the flesh tone, kind of really mixed in with some white. So, really not sure what's up with that, but kind of cool. Head only rotates. Now we have a point of rotation here at the waist. You will notice that underneath this top rope here, it's just straight up plastic. Of course, this little jacket or whatever this fur portion is completely obscures that most of the time. The leg is only on a hinge at the hip. I mean, it would have been nice if we had the extra outward movement, but given the fact that he's wearing a robe bottom or a dress, he really doesn't need it so much, and it would probably get in the way. We also have a ball and socket joint here at the knee. You know, good range of motion, pretty standard. And then another ball and socket here at the ankle. You will, of course, notice that we have all this extra sculpting here on the legs and everything, but, you know, technically we aren't supposed to ever really see this part just because he's got the whole cloth portion. But I imagine, you know, over time, if, say, you gave this to a kid, the cloth portion would probably be destroyed, which is why they do some detailing there. Again, you know, I really would rather just having straight up plastic portions or whatever for all that. Just because it wears better, it looks nicer, but, you know, cool figure regardless. Not as pleased with it as I thought I would be. Although, I mean, it's really nice that you can pull back the hood and everything and see this completely maniacal, you know, expression there, which does really look more like the Senator Palpatine than the Emperor, although I don't think you ever really see the Emperor's full head. So, all in all, I guess this is so-so figure, but, you know, still decent enough. This has been a look at Darth Sidious from the Revenge of the Sith portion. I think it was one of the earlier waves of the vintage collection, which is probably why it's also lacking in the articulation department. But until next time, folks.